So, you have a new Batman movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do. And I'm thinking we make this the darkest Gotham yet.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. We're gonna make it seem like this city passed some kind of weird one light bulb per household law.
Sounds very dark.
You know it,
One
sir,
light
because we
bulb
gotta make these movies
per
darker
household.
and darker and darker and darker. That's just good business.
How do you figure?
Well, sir, we keep going like this, pretty soon people will pay to see a completely dark screen, and we could play some kind of Batman audiobook or something.
That will save us a ton of money.
Yeah.
So who are you thinking for Batman?
Oh, I was thinking we get Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Twilight, vampire, vampire bat, Batman. Very clever.
Actually, no, it's just because he turned into a real good and accomplished actor since the Twilight
he has.
movies. Good time.
I'm enjoying myself.
Never mind. All right. So anyway, as Batman, he's gonna be dark and brooding, right?
Okay.
But then as Bruce Wayne, he's gonna be brooding and dark. You need that dichotomy, yeah.
Yeah,
And he's gonna have dark eyeliner and hair in front of his face and say stuff like, "You're not my dad," like it's 2006 or something.
Nice.
And
Or
this guy's
something.
Batman suit is totally bulletproof. I mean, bad guys just unload machine guns onto his chest, and he's not affected in the least.
Wow, so I guess his mouth must be covered too, right? Otherwise they could just aim at that.
Well, that's completely exposed, but nobody's gonna shoot at
Ever.
that part.
Why not?
Because
That works. So who's he going up against in this movie?
oh, several bad guys, sir. The main one of which is the Riddler.
Oh, that guy riddles sure does, sir.
So he's
Riddles.
going around killing corrupt people in power and leaving little riddles for Batman.
Oh, I bet he is.
So then throughout the movie, Batman's gonna look at these riddles and then solve them pretty much immediately.
Nice.
But sometimes he doesn't solve them immediately, and that means he's gotta go stand on a rooftop with Gordon or Catwoman for an extended period of time.
That makes sense.
So he's gonna start digging around Gotham's criminal underground, right? Getting to know the sketchy figures and stuff.
Who are we talking about here?
There's friggin' Carmine Falcone, and then there's the Penguin, who's Falcone's right-hand penguin. Oh, we got Penguin in the movie. What's he gonna do?
Right-hand
He's gonna be like,
penguin.
"Hey, oh, what are you doing?" A very Italian-American flightless bird. That's right, sir. So obviously, I was thinking we get Colin Farrell to play him.
Obviously.
What? Yeah, just cover the guy in so much makeup and prosthetics that even after people Google it, they're still like, really? I mean, I guess we could do that, sure. And so eventually Riddler's gonna attach a bomb around the neck of this corrupt DA and send him to a funeral of the mayor who he also killed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and this bomb ends up exploding right in Batman's face.
He didn't know it was gonna blow up.
No,
Oh,
he
he
did.
knew.
There was a clear timer on it, so.
So he didn't take cover?
Not even a little, so he goes flying backwards.
Wow, well, I guess that's gonna hurt the exposed bottom of his face.
Not even
Not
a little,
at
but he
all.
is knocked unconscious.
Ooh, that's gotta be a pretty severe concussion.
Nope. So then the police bring him to the police building, you know, where you bring injured people.
So they unmask him?
They don't know. So then he manages to escape by gliding off the top of their building and smacking into a little bridge thing.
I mean, that's gotta be a pretty severe concussion, too.
No. Okay. So then eventually
No.
Batman thinks that Penguin is this informant that he's looking for, right? So he chases him down and a bunch of cars and trucks explode. It's gonna look very cool.
Oh, wow, jeez.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy intense. But then turns out it wasn't him. You know, that wasn't the informant.
So all those people in the exploded cars died so Batman can follow an incorrect hunch?
That's right.
Whoops.
Whoopsie. And so later Batman's gonna have this conversation with Falcone, and Falcone's gonna be like, "Hey, did you know your dad paid me to kill a journalist back in the day? Did you know that?"
Oh man, that's gonna shatter Batman's world.
It does. So then Batman goes to confront Alfred about this, and Alfred's like, "Oh yeah, no, that's not true." It turns out the crime guy was lying.
That checks out.
Yeah, glad that was resolved. Resolved immediately, yeah.
So what else happens?
Well, eventually Batman's gonna figure out that Falcone, you know, the bad guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna figure out that he's the bad guy. Right. So he brings him out of this gangster
You
club
know.
called the Iceberg Lounge, and when he's under this streetlight, Riddler snipes him.
Oh.
Yeah, and turns out that's exactly what Riddler wanted Batman to do, because earlier there was a clue about bringing someone out into the light.
That was referencing this exact streetlight?
It was, yeah.
That was very vague and also specific.
Because see, later Riddler's like, there was no way for me to kill that guy otherwise, you know? He's never out in the open.
Oh, okay.
Except for the very public funeral
Yeah.
they were both at earlier in the movie. What? And so yeah, then Riddler's in jail and Falcone is dead.
Oh, okay. Wow, sounds like a great movie.
Oh, we're not done, sir. Oh, we're not. No. It's gonna feel like maybe we should be, but we're gonna keep going.
Oh.
Yeah, see, Riddler actually kind of thought he and Batman were working together.
Okay.
And there's this whole other layer to Riddler's plan. Like, he has a group of followers online that he's been scheming with.
What's the plan?
Flood the city and shoot a bunch of people.
Oh my god, that escalated so much from killing gangsters and crooked politicians.
It did, yeah. 'Cause
Escalated
we gotta end
so
these on
much.
big set pieces.
I guess we do, yeah. So how does Batman figure this out?
Well, see, Batman figures out that one of Riddler's murder weapons is this tool you use to tuck in carpets.
How does he figure that out?
Well, he happens to run into a cop who happens to start talking about how he happens to have an uncle who works in the carpet business.
Oh, very specific uncles are tight.
They sure are, sir. So now Batman looks under this carpet and finds the specifics of Riddler's plan.
Oh boy.
So now Batman's got to rush to this arena and fight some Twitch commenters.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. They're in Riddler cosplay and stuff.
Doesn't sound too serious.
But it's gonna be, and Batman's gonna get a shotgun blast to the chest.
But he's got his completely bulletproof suit, right? So it doesn't hurt him?
Yeah, this time it does. So he's like, ow, 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 ooh, stop, ow, ow, ow. But there are still a bunch of cosplayers
Ooh,
around.
stop.
Wow, okay, so I guess it's gonna be pretty tough to get out of that situation, huh?
Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because see, Batman's got some green juice. Well, like a smoothie? No, it's like an injection, and it gives him a real good
Green
boost.
juice.
So what was that?
Unclear.
Oh, okay, well, good that he had it.
Definitely.
Big
So then
talking
he's
point.
beating up one of the cosplayers, and the cosplayer's like, my name is Vengeance, which is what Batman calls himself.
Oh, frickin' nickname stealer.
So Batman kind of stops, and he's like, whoa, I guess I sure learned a lesson today.
Yeah, sure sounds that way.
But then there's this big
Whoa.
electrical wire flailing around, and people are gonna get electrocuted because there's water everywhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Batman selflessly cuts the wire and gets electrocuted and falls from super high up.
Oh my god, is he okay?
Yep, oh, that's fine. So,
Yep.
okay, so good. Totally okay. So then he takes a flare and he guides a bunch of people out of this flooded area into, I guess, another flooded area, because, everything's flooded.
A very underwater Gotham.
Yeah, and then we'll tease a new Joker, because we kind of have to.
We kinda
Kinda
have
have
to.
to.
And then Batman and Catwoman kind of ride their motorcycles next to each other and kind of split off like it's the end of a Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, it sounds like a great movie. Wait, is it done now?
Yeah, 3 hours later it is.
Great. Well, it'd be nice to have a good cinematic experience, you know? It seems like everything is just streaming shows these days.
That's so true, sir. It will be nice. And then you know what we can do if it's a success.
What's that?
It's funny because I still have to see the Batman again. I've watched it once already. I need to watch it a second time. I want to. But I'm going to go on record today and I'm going to say that Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves have brought the best Batman / Bruce Wayne to the big screen. Michael Keaton's still nostalgic, okay? He's still the GOAT in my eyes because he's nostalgic and I love his suit. Christian Bale is great in the role because he's a great actor, but I don't like his version of Batman because Christian Bale's Batman was always trying to not be Batman at some point. It was a more realistic take. He's only Batman for 7-8 years. So I get that. Michael Keaton's Batman, I felt like he could be Batman as long as he wants to be. Batman goes at things knowing that he's the only one that can do what needs to be done. And he doesn't want anybody else to do it for him. He'll use you to do it for him, but he's the one that will actually save the city and get things done. He doesn't need help to a degree. So I can see that for Michael Keaton's Batman, seeing how he's going to be in The Flash and Batgirl, which I hope Batgirl's still coming out this year. Is that coming out this year? Because Flash and Aquaman got pushed next year. Everything's crazy right now with DC. But we got this, so I'm happy. Also, Ben Affleck's Batman, he was already an older Batman, so he already was kind of that version for me of, I'm the only one that can do this. I need to do this for as long as I can while I'm able. And I'm going to save the city. I'm going to save the city. I'm going to save the world, whatever the case. So he really showed it. Obviously, I don't really count George Clooney and Val Kilmer all that much. I like Batman Forever, but I don't really count them because I only did the one movie and we've gotten, multiple from the other actors, except Robert Pattinson, which hopefully they're going to do a trilogy. But so far, from the first viewing that I've had of the Batman, I'm going on record and saying that cinematically, as far as on the big screen, Robert Pattinson is the best Batman I've seen. He brought a culmination of everything we've seen from other performances into this performance. When you think of how in Tim Burton's Batman, how his gadgets would come up and around his belt, that you see that here, mainly with the grappling hook on the wrist. You see that here. When you think of how from what we understand, Robert Pattinson's Batman put his suit together to a degree. We don't see that, but there's information about that. It's kind of thinking about how Christian Bale's Batman put his suit together. So there's aspects from each one that you see. And if I were to do a comparison between Ben Affleck's Batman and Robert Pattinson's Batman, I would say they had the same approach of, I'm the only one that can do this. I'm the only one that's capable of saving the city and making things right in Gotham. I just loved the portrayal of Robert Pattinson's Batman and Bruce Wayne, just the duality there. Because when he's not in the suit, he's almost still like a little boy who saw his parents die. He's trying to still figure things out. He's lost. But when he puts on the suit, it's almost like he's his true self. That's his purpose. And so like a lot of people say, Batman's in the movie the whole time. It's always Batman on screen. To a degree, yes. Because I feel like Batman, or at least Bruce Wayne, is comfortable in the Batman persona because he can not really be vulnerable, but he has control over things. He has control over people's fear, all that kind of stuff. I do like, though, and I think this was kind of the way they're going about it, because if you think about Spider-Man, the MCU, everybody was like, oh man, the third movie we're now finally getting the Spider-Man we always knew, or the Peter Parker we always knew from the comics, as far as No Way Home and what happens at the end of that movie. And was that the plan from the get-go when Homecoming was brought up with Sony and Disney? Was that always a plan? I don't think so. I don't. Kevin Feige is dope. He's a smart guy, but I don't think that was always a plan. I think they got there in a good way. It's cool. And if that was a plan, cool. But I don't think that was always a plan. I think that this movie, The Batman, while Batman's already been Batman for 2 years at this point, it is more or less an origin story for Bruce Wayne in a light degree. There's little things you see here and there that show you that, okay, he's gonna come to this understanding that he can't be Batman all the time. He does have to kind of change it up, and that Bruce Wayne, there are a lot of things he can do that Batman can't do. And that's one thing you've always seen in the animated series and a lot of the movies we've gotten already. Batman has access to places and can get access to places, but Bruce Wayne can do it in a much easier way. And they show a couple of scenes in this movie where that is the case. And it's really awesome how they do that. But it's not like overly done. It's one of those scenarios where I feel like if they do a trilogy, when the third movie comes, you've seen that gradual progression in Bruce Wayne being the Bruce Wayne that we know, whether it's from the animated series or even other movies. I think the animated series is kind of one of the best scenarios of seeing that dual role being handled so well. But then you have moments, and that's why I say this, I believe, is the best version here that we've seen in the Batman, because there are moments where Bruce Wayne does kind of come through the Batman persona while he has a suit on. In a couple scenes with Catwoman, he kind of is vulnerable with her, and then he realizes, I can't really trust her. I mean, I'm into this girl, but I can't really trust her. And then he kind of changes his voice back. He has kind of a softer voice at one point, and then he changes it back to the more gravelly voice, which it's not that much different from his regular voice, which is kind of funny. But I really, really enjoyed Robert Pattinson's portrayal, because you could see his performance almost like he was thinking about what he wanted to do next. In a good way. Like it's not a scenario where it felt like he was just acting things out. Like, it feels like Batman's really trying to think about what's next while trying to figure out the Riddler's riddles, having Alfred help him with the ciphers and all that jazz. That was pretty cool too. So it's like, I felt like we got all the pieces of Batman from all these other different movies and TV shows in one package here, and it was flawless. The movie has issues though. Like, the movie itself, kind of like The Dark Knight, it doesn't know when to end. Like, The Dark Knight should have ended with like a reveal of Two-Face, and then that should have been the third movie, something like that. In this one, you have the Riddler situation, which you already saw the spoilers here, but you have the Riddler situation, he's in jail, and then the movie keeps going, and then you have a whole big disaster with Gotham. I get it, but if I felt the same way I felt with The Dark Knight, which I love The Dark Knight. Right now, it's still number one for me. I think if I watch the Batman again, that could get there, but they both do the same thing that is a negative for both movies. They kind of don't know when to end. And so that was kind of an issue. This movie could have been like 2.5 hours, which would have been fine. And I don't feel like this was the type of movie that needed to have a big spectacle at the end, but it's there and it's cool, it's fun. So, it is what it is. But I really enjoyed this movie though. And I put a post out and I said, like, hey, is this one that takes the top spot? It could be. I think if I watch it again and I still enjoy it, I think it might. Even though it has the same issue as The Dark Knight, I enjoy this version of Batman more than Christian Bale's Batman. I think the directing is tighter in The Dark Knight, I'll give it that. But in this one, it's all about the character for me. And all the characters shine. Like, everybody shines in this movie, which is great. There's not one weak spot that I noticed for me in this movie. Robert Pattinson is amazing. If you haven't seen him in other stuff like Good Time or The Lighthouse, those are just amazing, you got to check those out. But I feel like him being cast in this role, more people will see him since they've seen Twilight, because a lot of people probably haven't seen some of the more indie stuff that he's done. He's a great actor, and he really shows it here. So you got to check it out. If you haven't seen The Batman, check it out. You gotta see it on the big screen. I didn't get to see it on IMAX. I might still try, but I want to see it one more time. It's a wonderful film, and it's different. It's just very different. And I like that it was more on the detective route. Everything that the director, Matt Reeves, has been saying about the movie is. Like, I didn't feel like the trailers at any point made me feel differently from what I actually got. The trailers fully embody what you get in this movie. Even though, like I said earlier, Robert Pattinson brings a culmination of things we've seen of Batman into this movie in one package, there's still a lot of new stuff that hasn't been done in other movies. A lot of things on Thomas and Martha Wayne that hasn't been explored cinematically, I think. There's been a few things, obviously in comics, a few things in animated form, but as far as live action, cinematic form, they do a lot of things here that hasn't been done before. So that kind of gave a new spin on things. And the Riddler is dope in here. I think the Riddler is kind of somewhat comparable to the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker in Dark Knight, mainly just because of the cell phone video he would take. It was very reminiscent of that. But again, you're getting a lot of stuff in here that while it's been done before, they put somewhat of a new spin on things, which I thought was cool. And they spoke to a lot of that here in the pitch meeting. But the pitch meeting was great. Like, this is one of my favorites. I don't know. I think Batman 1989 might still kill this one though, because that was hilarious. But still a lot of funny stuff here on the new pitch meeting channel, which I think is great. If you haven't subscribed to that yet, go ahead and do that. But yeah, this is the first official pitch meeting on the pitch meeting channel. But still great stuff from Ryan George. He killed it. I'm glad he did this one next too. We got 2 Batman pitch meetings back to back, which I think was amazing. That's always good for me. But let me know your favorite part of this in the comments below. Let's also talk about the Batman. Did you enjoy it? Where does it rank for you? I can understand why it doesn't rank #1 for a lot of people. I think it may grow to that for me, but I will say that Robert Pattinson, as of right now, I think he's the best Batman off just one movie. And it's because they bring inspiration from other films, whether it's live action or animated, that helps you feel like this is a full embodied Batman here. Like nothing was missing for me. So that's just me. That's all I got for you guys on this. Let me know your favorite part in the comments below. I appreciate you guys for watching, whether you're a member, a subscriber, or just a watcher. I appreciate you. But if you are a watcher, go ahead, take a second, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, everybody hit the like button before you go. It really helps out the channel in a big way, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, so I really appreciate it. That's all I got for you guys on this. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you guys as always on the next video. Take care.